Hi, everybody. It's Dr. John Callahan, and I thought I would give you guys a message this morning. We're going to be talking about a number of different topics over the next few weeks. And so I've just got some prepared notes I'm going to read off to you here. So the name of this is Know Your Five to Stay Alive. There's a lot we still don't know about the future with regard to the coronavirus pandemic and how it's going to affect our lives and our world. However, we do now know about the coronavirus is how the virus behaves and how to protect ourselves once we're exposed. Notice that I said once we are exposed. It really isn't realistic to think that we won't all eventually be exposed to the virus in some capacity. We're working from home now, socially distancing, not being able to hug or kiss your family sometimes, anymore. Is that really never going to happen again? I don't think that's realistic. So, what can we do to protect ourselves? So, let's focus on the soil, not the seed. Let's focus on the host, not the virus. Let's make ourselves bulletproof to this and all pathogenic viruses if we possibly can. Here's the most important thing that we do know. People die from organ failure due to massive overreaction inflammatory cytokine storm. The backdrop that makes people most susceptible to this cytokine storm is having underlying inflammation in your body to start with. What causes systemic inflammation in the body? One of the most common causes is metabolic disease or metabolic syndrome. And according to a recent study, this has increased 37% in the last 5 years. So, how do we prevent metabolic disease and or metabolic syndrome? And if we do happen to have that already, or if we're a type 2 diabetic, how do we begin to reduce the effects of that on our body? Know your five to stay alive. What if you could predict or see if you get COVID disease and how you would respond? Or for that matter, what if you could see future illnesses and diseases that you will get and ultimately what could claim your life? What if, like a crystal ball, you could see the road ahead of you and where it was headed? Would you want to know? Now, what if you could then alter that path in a positive, healthier direction? What if you could bend the road in the direction that you want to go? I think the answer for most of us would be yes. When the yellow gas light in the car pops up, it grabs our attention and we respond. We don't ignore it, keep driving, and run out of gas, do we? Some of us might not want to answer that. Well, I'm here to tell you when it comes to your health and protecting yourself against this deadly pathogen, there is a signal that comes on in your body that makes it much more likely for you to get COVID and any other chronic deadly diseases, and that signal is inflammation. I've heard it said that the best way to predict the future is to create it, and I agree. However, on any journey, you must first know your starting point and then your destination. When it comes to your health right now, do you know precisely where you are? In my years of practice, I find most people truly don't have an accurate picture of their health, and almost nobody knows if they are on fire with inflammation right now. Many people think they're healthy, and most people have a positive illusion of health, meaning they think they're a lot healthier than they really are because they feel okay. However, most people don't know that health has very little to do with how a person feels. Feeling good or not feeling good can be an illusion and can get us into big trouble. Instead, basing our health on how we feel, we should base it on real numbers and how we function. In other words, our physiology. I'm going to educate you over the next month on these 5 baseline numbers that I think everyone should know if they want to feel great, look great, live a long time, and prevent metabolic disease, inflammation, and cytokine production. So these 5 important biomarkers are number 1, fat versus muscle ratio. How much muscle versus fat you have on your body and where you're carrying it. Number 2, blood pressure and resting pulse, an indicator of how your cardiovascular system is functioning. Number 3, fasting insulin. This is a measurement of how much sugar you're taking in, how fast you're damaging your cells, and if you're storing fat instead of burning it. Number 4, HbA1c. Your hemoglobin A1c is a biomarker of aging and sugar metabolism. And number 5, your triglyceride to HDL ratio. This is the strongest predictor of our number one killer, cardiovascular disease. So we're going to break these down over the next few weeks. I'll be coming back on a video and we'll be talking about these 5 things. I hope in learning about these things, it can wake us up and it changes our behavior so we can live with faith instead of trembling with fear in the future. So thanks for listening, and I'll look forward to chatting with you again soon.